button. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask the Nanny. Tonight is our roundtable discussion, and I have someone here with me that I haven't had on the show in a long time. It's past, was it overdue, past due, whatever you call it, it's due. So I'm going to let her introduce herself to you while I share this broadcast to some of our groups. And be sure to chime in. Um, Hi, Becky. How are you? Be sure to chime in. Be sure to share this with your groups, your friends, um, and be sure to add your 2 cents. So, right now, while I'm sharing and Glenda is introducing herself, if you have a topic of discussion, please post it in the comments so that we can discuss it. Hi, Lucretia. How are you? Okay, Glenda, it's on you.
Hi, I am Glenda Probst. I am a retired, after 31 years, I'm a retired nanny, but I retired in 2015. I still do a lot in the nanny industry. The biggest thing I do is nanny transitions. That's my passion, and it's kind of my life's work right now. I support, encourage, and guide nannies through the emotions and grief of leaving a nanny family. I'm a founding board member of INA. I was one of the 3 founders of the National Association of Nannies, which was the first nanny organization in the United States run by nannies for nannies. And I just, it's something I can't get away from. I love the nanny industry. I love the people in it. And I can't retire from it. I can retire from working day to day, but I can't retire from the industry. So it's really an honor for me to be here with you tonight. Thank you for the invitation, Angela.
Thank you for joining us. Um, I'm posting to several groups, so that's why I'm over here on the phone, and I'm trying to hold on. Let me open it up. So just in case, I thought was going to happen. Okay. Is there an echo, or is it just me? I was just saying, was there an echo, or was it just me?
It was I could hear an echo on your. It sounded like it came from you. I left my husband and the dog in the basement, so there's no noise here.
Okay. Well. All right. I'm gonna have to close this, I think, because I think me having this open on my phone is what's causing the echo, and that I don't want is an echo. Okay. So, all right. As a former nanny, I feel that. Okay. Susan says, and Glenda does a beautiful job. And yes, she does. Absolutely. I totally agree. And Angelina Marie says, as a former nanny, I feel that. And when I get ready to retire, I'll retire from the baby part, but I'll still be in the nanny community. I already know this because this is my passion. And I can't give it up. I'll be sitting from my little riding chair typing on my phone. I'm typing on my computer. Y'all get that right now.
I really feel like as nannies, as older nannies, as nannies that have been in the industry for many, many years, we almost owe it to the younger nannies that are coming up. We don't owe it to them really, but it's something I want to do for them. I think that I had to learn everything the hard way, really. I didn't have all of these resources whenever I was a new nanny. Even though I had gone through a nanny training program, I didn't have all these resources. And now these nannies today have incredible resources. But I do think that older seasoned nannies need to reach out and help and guide and encourage and lift them up and, be and support them.
Yes, definitely need a support group because uh, that's how accident started. I
Mm-hmm.
had no support group. I
Mm-hmm.
had no anything. I didn't even know all this nanny groups and things existed until I hurt myself at work and the doctor told me, "Okay, your career is over." I thought I had died. Seriously. I'm like, "Really? You're gonna take my babies away from me? Are you serious?" I cried for 3 weeks. "Hello, Pamela, how are you?"
Hi, Pam.
Okay, Pamela, I'm
Nice
gonna
to
ask
meet
you,
you.
did you ever get your box? I'm just gonna ask that. That is weighing heavy on me because I keep getting the runaround from the post office. But I'm detouring now. Let me get back on subject. Okay, so if you all have a topic of discussion, this is a roundtable discussion. So we're going to discuss anything that comes to the table. So if you all have a topic that you would like to discuss, please, yeah, we're going to discuss the post office today. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're about to discuss the post office and Pamela's box. And that's what we're going to discuss. But seriously, though, um, do you have a topic that you'd like to discuss, Glenda?
Me?
Yes.
When I was getting ready, I was like, I feel kind of weird. Usually you prepare most of the day for one of these and have all my little notes in front of me. And I know I don't have anything tonight. Um, I Let's talk a little bit about nannies and kind of what they're going through right now
Mhm.
and about how the industry's changed a little bit. Let's talk about their worth, about how so many things have happened in this last year, as we all know. And
Yes.
so many things have changed in the nanny industry. And nannies who thought that they would be with their families forever are finding that they're not going to be with those families forever. So I think that it's taken a real hit on their self esteem and on their self worth. So, can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
Because, okay, I think it's so important as nannies to value yourself and to value what you bring to the table, what you bring to a family, and not to, when you go into these interviews, regardless of what the economic situation is, when you go into these families, I think they have to remember it isn't just that this family's not doing them a favor by hiring them. I mean, it's equal. You're also doing them a favor by bringing your expertise and your experience and your education and your love into this family to care for their children. And I think that when times are tough, like they've been recently, that nannies kind of devalue themselves. And so I just want to talk a minute about that and about how, regardless of what situation you're in, regardless of how your job ended, or what happened to cause your job to end, whether it was COVID or whether it was expected or unexpected or what, to remember your value and to remember your worth, no matter what the situation is, because you are valuable, and you have to kind of put that on. You kind of have to remember that, and you kind of have to remind yourself of it and have a little moment before you go into these interviews and center yourself and remember your worth and remember your value and remember what you're bringing to a family.
Yes. Yes. Hello, Glory. How are you? Um, you are so right. You have to know your worth and then add text.
Mm-hmm.
And overtime too, because there are a lot of things nannies have transitioned from just taking care of the kids and the laundry and occasional meal here and there to becoming okay, so you're going to be here. How about you help clean up? How about you cook dinner every day? How about you teach the kids, they're learning on distance learning. um you have become a teacher, you become the housekeeper, you become the house manager, pretty much. You have no privacy anymore, you can't go anywhere anymore. Parents are very strict. If they don't have a COVID test, they can't come near you, they can't come near the house. You can't go out for a walk with them if they don't have a COVID test. But at the same time, some parents they're very restrictive of their nannies as to what they can and cannot do. And if they find out the nanny went out over the weekend, guess what? No, you can't come back. You have to quarantine without pay. There's some ridiculousness that's going on. And I get it. Nobody wants COVID. It's least of all me. But
Mhm.
know that your worth, the way they see you,
Mhm.
and know that you got this job and you can get another one. And you have to tell them, look, I have to have time to myself. I need to go uh, ride in the car somewhere. I need to get beyond my four walls and beyond your four walls if I'm going to be mentally okay. I have to see something besides your four walls. My husband and I are planning a secluded vacation, and we're going to rent a house so that we won't have to be around people in the hotel and coming in cleaning and all that good stuff. We take our own sheets. We went somewhere last year. We took our own sheets. We took everything that we needed. We took with us and used our things and washed our things so that we could enjoy our vacation without I wonder who's been on these sheets. I wonder who's been there. We took extra precautions because I work with babies. At the time, I didn't have a contract. So we went.
Mhm.
But at the same time, when I got back, I did not let anyone tell me, oh, well, you're going to have to do this and you're going to have to do that. I don't work for families, I work with families. Know this, nannies, you work with families. It, like Glenda said, it's an equal. You are an equal in this partnership. Uh, Hold on, we had a comment. Becky said, advocating for yourself. Many nannies seem afraid to talk to their employees. What does Glenda recommend?
Well, I recommend that you have the hard conversations. You have to have the hard conversations. And if your employers aren't willing or able or prepared to have those hard conversations, you have to be the one to take control and start that conversation. Because a nanny employer relationship is like any kind of a relationship. It's not going to survive if you don't have communication. And especially in the situation that we're in right now with COVID and the situation we've been in for this last year, you have to have understandings. You have to have these conversations. You can't pretend to read their mind and they can't pretend to read your mind. And really, the best thing to do is to have the conversation before it happens. Instead of waiting until you've been exposed to COVID or they've been exposed to COVID, or they want to take the kids to the beach for 2 weeks and they're not going to quarantine. You have to have those hard conversations before they really happen, and you have to have a plan in place. And that doesn't just go for your employers. I mean, that just goes for you. You've got
Yes.
to have a plan. You have to have a plan, regardless of what we're talking about, whether we're talking about if you're a live-in nanny. If you're a live-in nanny, you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan for what you're going to do if your job ends unexpectedly. You have to have a place, you have to have a 24-hour plan, someplace that you can go on a short notice. And then you have to have a longer-term plan, because sometimes whenever your job ends and you're a live-in nanny, you have to get out fast. So if you have that plan in place, then you don't have to wonder what you're going to do when that happens, because you already know. So having a plan and having a conversation about these hard topics is really important. And this is a really good time to have those conversations, even though it's been almost a year now. And even though a lot of people are getting vaccinated, this is the time, because, more and more people are going to get vaccinated. And when people get vaccinated, then people are going to start to think, oh, we got the vaccine and I'm going to be okay and I can do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a conversation about that, because we think we're going to be okay. We don't know. We still have to use common sense, and we still have to have a plan. For example, I'm getting my second vaccine on Saturday, and my husband and I have already had a conversation about, we still have to be careful for the next 2 weeks. We have to watch where we go. We're still not going to restaurants. We're still limiting our activity. And even after that 2 weeks is up, I'm still going to be careful what I do and where I go, because there are no guarantees here. This is all new territory for everybody. So have the conversation. Now, this is a timely time, perfect time to have this conversation with your employers, especially if you're getting a vaccine or they're getting a vaccine. Have those hard conversations before they become issues. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Gloria says, talk about COVID-19, please. I think we just did that. My nanny family got COVID-19 syndrome. They can't smell anything after 2 days of fever. Lucky me and boy, before are all right. No syndrome, and we're fine. But I still had to come to their house. How the COVID clause for nanny? Yes, there is a COVID clause for nanny. I know Laura Brawley has one in her A to Z contract, and I got the clause last year. I bought it because I already had the main contract. There is a COVID clause to add to your contract. I'm not sure how much it is, but there is one. Look on A to Z contract. I think it's A to Z contract.com.
There are also a couple of others floating around out there. So you Google it a little bit. I'm sure, Laura has a good one, of course. But you might just Google see what you could come up with as well.
Yes.
But there are some clauses out there.
Yes. I don't think it's ridiculous to want a nanny to be very cautious. I'm sure that's not. No. I am very cautious. And it's not, you're right, it is not ridiculous for a nanny to be cautious.
No.
Be very cautious. What I'm saying ridiculous is that families restrict their nannies from doing certain things, but yet they're going to do the same thing that they're telling the nanny not to do. So if you don't want me to put your life in danger, quote unquote, then why are you doing it to me? You're doing the same thing, taking your kids to the zoo, taking them, out in public where they touch everything. And kids, you work with as a nanny, a child will touch you, wipe their nose and wipe it on you. Just saying. That's just, 2 or 3-year-old they do. But what I'm saying, the ridiculousness of it is expecting me to do something that you're not willing to do, and expecting me to be okay with you going out and partying with your friends and eating out every week, every night of the week, and doing other things that's going to endanger me because I'm coming into your home and taking care of your kids, the same home where You live and you brought things back to the home. So the ridiculousness I was talking about is not being fair. If you don't want me to do it, then please don't do it yourself.
Mhm.
That's what I was referring to. Thank you,
Yeah,
Susan. A to Z nannycontract.com. Okay.
and to have and that's why you want to talk with your employer about those things,
Yeah.
and what do you want me to do, and what are you going to do, and how are we going to get through this together? How are we going to get through this
Right.
together? I mean, my husband and I had to have this conversation because my husband never stays home. So we really had to have a hard conversation about what our perimeters were going to be and get on the
Yes.
same page about it. Because if I'm staying home and I'm not going anywhere, and he's going out and running around everywhere, it doesn't matter if I'm staying home because you're going to get exposed. So whoever you spend your time with, if that's in your employers, the house that you go to every day, you need to have that conversation. It's a great idea to have that COVID clause in your work agreement. It's a wonderful idea. It's an important thing to have. And don't feel like it's too late to do that. Get on top of it. You know, if you
Mhm.
didn't know about it before tonight, now get on top of it.
Yes.
Okay.
I had to have I had to have that conversation with my employers because my mom boss travels. I also had to have it because my husband travels. Both of them travel for work, but they both get COVID tests before they leave and before they get back on the plane to come back home. Because if they don't get the COVID test, then they go into quarantine. I go into quarantine away from my husband. So we had that conversation. We sat down and had the conversation. We talked about it. We talked about how important it was for both of us to be responsible, even when we're out in public, and my husband's boss has had a heart transplant, so they are always getting tested because
Mm-hmm.
they can't be around him, especially my husband. There's 2 or 3 of the people that work there that go into the office for 1 week a month, and
Mm-hmm.
Sam is one of them. And so he has to get tested so that he won't be a danger to anybody in the office, but especially his boss. So they get tested often. It's one of the requirements of
Mm-hmm.
his job. It's one of the requirements of my boss's job that she gets tested. So we are always testing. Thank goodness they have some other tests other than sticking it up your nose. Because Lord knows, I'm like, no, don't come at me with that. So thank goodness they have that. But yes, have those conversations, get it in your contract. If you don't have a safety precaution as to, you can pick it up from the grocery store. Everybody needs to go get groceries. So have that conversation. If I contracted, this is going to happen. If you contracted, this is going to happen. How are we going to work, with the kids and all that good stuff. So have that plan in place. Sit down and have that conversation. It's an important conversation to have. Um, Mitch says, wait, sorry, Susan. Susan says, right, I agree, Angela. I had a position where they expected me to wear a mask in their home, but they did not wear them.
Mm-hmm.
Fair, very unfair. Because I'm sure that they don't stay at home 24/7 since all this started. I'm gonna go back to Pamela. Pamela said, we're gonna talk about burnout. She wanted to talk about burnout. Let me see what Mitch is saying. Just got on. I'm looking for work now, and a lot of people just hiring due to COVID, but want you to go with the flow commitment and not have you at a full year or say more than a year. We just don't know. I need job security and a commitment. Okay. Did I understand that right? Okay,
I,
so people
I
want to
think
hire
that's
you for COVID, during COVID, but they
mhm.
want you to go with the flow. They don't want to give you a commitment as to how long this job is going to last. And you're saying that you need job security. Am I right? Did I read that right? Okay.
Yeah. I I know a lot of nannies right now. A lot of nannies in my nanny transition group are doing temp jobs, or they're doing short-term jobs for like 6 months, or they're doing jobs for just for 1 year contracts because of COVID. Because families don't know what what's going to happen. You know, they don't know if their kids are going to go back to school. A lot of families need childcare because their kids are doing e-learning and they're working at home and they can't supervise them. And so as things hopefully get better, they may
Mm-hmm.
not need that. So they are trying not to get locked into long-term contracts. And I think that that's happening a lot because I hear about it happening a lot. You know, 3 month contracts, 6 month contracts is it's in 1 year contracts. That's about the going rate right now. And not many 1 year contracts are out there. Most of them are 3 to 6 months is what I've been, what my experience has been, what I've heard people say. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so Mish says she's a live-in.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's a live-in.
That is hard.
Um,
That is.
the nose test isn't bad as it seems. I was able to do it and just sneeze. You okay? See, I broke my nose um, when I was 16, and ever since then, I've had with the glasses. Oh my gosh, I have problems with my sinuses, and oh, I had a sinus infection one time, and I felt like a pepper, like a hot jalapeno pepper was stuck up my nose for like 5 days.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that complex of that in my mind, I'm seeing this Q-tip coming at me, and I'm like, no.
Hmm.
So yeah, I have a huge complex with something going up my nose because of the condition my nose is in. So yeah, for you, sure, it was probably easy. For me, I've had it done before. Oh my gosh, I, eyes running, tears. That's all I'm gonna say. My eyes were running tears. Now, can we talk about burnout? Because Pamela asked a few comments ago. Can we talk about burnout? Um, it's so real because parents are at home. Parents are micromanaging. The kids know the parents are home, so they don't act the way they used to act because I want my mama, I want my daddy. Well, my daddy said I can do it. My mama said I can do it. And who's in charge?
Mhm.
The kids are getting confused as to, well, mom and dad's are here, so they are in charge, right? I go ask mom and dad. Or do I ask Nanny? Because Nanny's here too. So there is a definite burnout, quick burnout, because uh, parents they don't want too many people in their home. So since Nanny is here, she's here all day long, let me just add a few more tasks and, move right along. Now, I'm not saying this is all parents, so don't get me wrong about that. I'm not talking about all parents, but I have read in several groups about the job creep, about everything that's added on, as if the nanny was not already burned out from working the 60 hours a week with your children. And then there are extra tasks that are expected to happen, which goes even further. And by the time they get off, their brain is going. And a weekend, to me, a weekend is not enough to recover and recuperate from 60-hour week and all this extra that they're doing. Because, like I said, you have no privacy now. And especially if parents have cameras in the house, and they know, okay, so and some of these cameras have Wi-Fi, so they can see you from wherever they are. And the minute you sit down and go, whew, okay, everybody's down. I need to take a break. Let me just sit here for a minute and gather my thoughts. They're texting you because you're sitting on the couch doing nothing, not realizing, do you realize I just went through the whole half of the day? Uh, Little Johnny spit up. Uh, this one had poop everywhere because he has, something's going on with his tummy. I had to cook dinner. I had to rearrange the toys. I had to wash the laundry. I had to clean up their room, make their beds, change the linens, all this other stuff. There's a lot that goes on just taking care of the kids, just the basic things. And then everybody's down and you get to take a break. We need lunch. Any other job, you get, if you're working 8 hours, you get like two 30-minute breaks, 30-minute breaks and two 15-minute breaks, a 30-minute lunch break and two 15-minute breaks. We need that too. But we work, if the parents are working 8 hours a day, we're normally there for 10 to 12. So in a 10 to 12-hour day, we need to have that break in between there so that we can just and not feel so burnt out, because it's for real.
So what are you guys doing to keep from getting burned out?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah. What do you do? What are you doing? You have to be doing something to have gotten through it this far. So
I go walking.
Yeah.
I go walking when I get home, because I live in a warmer climate and there are trails around that are like 2 blocks away from my house. I go walking. It brings back my happy endorphins. It gets relieves stress from me. I cook, which is why I need to go walking, because I cook so much. Because when I get stressed, my kitchen is my happy place.
Mhm.
But when I cook, it's comfort food. When I get stressed, I cook comfort food. So I need to walk all that stuff off. My clothes are like, okay, you get too comfortable. So I want to know what you all do to get rid of stress, to relieve stress, and keep it rated PG. That just hit my brain. Keep it rated PG.
Well, I do. I do a lot of. Oh, here we go. I just said we got some people saying stuff.
uh, she said, I would try to say, how about the next 3 months? Okay, I'm not sure.
She was talking about the temp job.
Right. Okay. Temp jobs are a great way to boost your resume. I have been able to charge way more because I've done temp work with my experience level. Good for
Except
you.
that Miss Harper says that she's a live-in.
Yeah.
So she really can't, she's got to have a place to live while she's working. So it's that's hard. It's something I hadn't thought about, but that has to be.
It has to be, because she needs, if you're living, you need that security that I'm dropping down, setting up camp. Am I gonna be here long enough to unpack? Or do I need to keep my clothes packed up and because I need to go? That is tough. That is tough. And it is a best investment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I just felt like the internet was making way scarier and didn't want to contribute. I understand, Sadie, but um, it is a scary thing. I was at the grocery store yesterday, and it's a pretty big grocery store. Everybody's, coming down the aisle, everybody's stopping and they're doing the social distancing, and people are scooching by real quick. And there's this guy just lollygagging, and I don't know his case. I don't know if he couldn't wear a mask, but he's just walking around, and I'm thinking he's got one of those masks that is the same color as his face. Really, surely he does. And when he got up close, I kind of backed up. I was like, "You don't have on a mask at all," and he's just smiling and walking around, and I'm like, "Is nobody going to say anything?" Uh, Somebody. So there are people who can't wear the mask. I get it. But it's on a Sunday and everybody's out shopping. So I just, to me, my feelings is that wasn't the best time for him to shop because either he's getting somebody else sick or he has a chance of getting himself sick. But that's just my feelings. So
Mhm.
um, about the Wi-Fi cameras, be careful if you hook up with your Wi-Fi, people can easily hack those cameras and get your information. Be super careful and be sure your family has it secure. Oh yes. Oh yes. Definitely. I totally agree with that. Definitely
Good advice.
I go on the Wi-Fi when they need something and I go on their tablet. Uh, I use my data so my stuff can stay within the realms of my phone. I have free data. Well, I would say free data. I pay for a data plan with unlimited data. So if I'm going to get the unlimited data, I'm going to use my data plan. Oh, Blossom says I just sit and relax for 1 hour doing nothing. She's talking about burnout. She really sits. That's a good sit, relax. I know some people do yoga. Uh, Deidre
Yoga
says she does dance class.
Mhm.
Ooh, yes, I love it. Uh, Sadie says, I drive for a good 30 miles after work just chill. Perfect. 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 It takes a good 6 months to get to know everyone.
She's talking about her when you live with
Oh,
the
yeah.
family.
Okay. Lucretia says, I look in your groups and I feel that I am not the only one that is in difficult times. I don't feel alone. I always pray and breathe and think this will pass. I start to feel gratitude because I have a job, but sometimes it's not enough. So I walk in the dark and I cry. Oh, Lucretia, that hurts my heart.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
that hurts my heart.
Lucretia, but she says she feels gratitude because she has a job. This, these are just hard times. They're
Yes.
just hard times. And we do have to be grateful for what we have.
Mhm.
Even the smallest things, gratitude changes your attitude. It really, really does. Um, that's how I live my life. I mean, I just I try to be grateful every day, not for what I don't have, but for what I do have. You know, and I also believe that when you reach out to other people and you love other people and you lift other people up, it lifts you up.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
that is miraculous. It really is. You
The
know.
smallest things, the
Hmm.
smallest things are are so precious
Just kind
because
words.
yes, kind words. I have received cards. I have received just little trinkets, little things that are just so precious to me because I know in times like these, I know how hard it is to come by money. I know how hard it is to take that money and spend it somewhere else other than on yourself or your family or whatever you need. I know how hard it is to um, trying to save money because what if this happens? What if that happens? I am totally, totally grateful when I get happy mail and I got something for Valentine's Day. I couldn't even get to the mailbox. It
Mm,
was snow. I couldn't even get to the mailbox until like Thursday to get it. But it was a Valentine's Day card from one of the neighbors saying,
oh,
"I wanted to send you a gift." And I'm like, "I don't need a gift. This is gift enough." The
mm,
fact that you thought about me and you sent me something to let me know how much you appreciate me, your kind words. Um, I'm a very, I guess I'm a crybaby, and I try not to cry on here. I try. It's hard. I was
maybe
like,
you're
"Oh,
just
think about
emotional.
I'm like, think about baseball. Think about baseball. Think about something else." But it is an emotional time, and I have found myself, depressed. I have found myself in those down places, and I'm like, I listen to my praise music when I walk. I listen to my praise music, and I praise my way out of it. I pray and I praise God, and I praise my way out of it because I know that He's got me. And regardless of what happened, he's got me and he's
Mhm,
gonna take care of it. So I have to know whose I am.
mhm,
And even though I can't see where I'm going, and even though
mhm,
I can't see the future, I know that God is leading my future and that if I'm obedient, he'll lead me in the right way and he hasn't steered me wrong yet. Now, I have steered myself wrong a few times because I didn't go down the path that I was supposed to. So, we always tell kids actions have consequences.
mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he also knows the rest of the story.
Yes.
He knows the rest of the story. We don't know the rest of the story, but
No.
I, without going into everything, between 2016 and 2018, I went through some really hard personal things. And one of the things that I learned during that time was you can't worry about things you have no control over.
Yeah.
You control what you can and do the best you can and believe in your heart that you're strong enough to get
Mhm.
through whatever's going to happen and whatever's going to come. Because you are. You really are. If you believe that you are, you will be. And if you believe that you aren't, you won't be. You have to believe in yourself
Mhm.
and you have to have faith that you're strong enough. I personally, for me, I believe in God. And that is huge to me. That is a huge part of my life. That is how I live my life. Other people here may not, but you have to have something that you believe in
Right.
that is bigger than you, and you have to love yourself and you have to have faith in yourself and you have to believe that you are strong enough to get through the hard times. And one of the things that always helps me when I'm going through something hard is to remember all the hard things that I've already been through.
Mhm.
Because we've all done hard things in our life and we've gotten through them. And we're going to have to do more hard things in our life. And
Exactly.
we are strong enough to get through them. We just have to believe that.
Exactly. I totally agree. It's a belief system.
It
Believe in you
is.
and believe that I believe in you enough that you can get through it.
Right.
Lakeisha
Absolutely.
says, "I survived this year because of you ladies and all your love and help." Well, trust me, we appreciate you, Lucretia. We people don't help you unless they have kind heart. I'm a heart person. People don't help you unless they have the heart for it. They'll send you to somebody who can help you.
Mhm.
Um, I just believe people what is that saying? Who said that? In the midst of dangers, look for the helpers. I
Mr.
just want to
Lopez,
be
yeah.
one of those helpers.
Mhm.
I want to be one of those helpers. And I'm glad that I was one of those helpers for you because it's like a reap and sow system. The Bible says it. You can call it karma. You can call it reap and sow. You can call it what is it, Murphy's law? Whatever you want to call it. It's a reap and sow. If I sow into you, someone else comes along and sows into me. And what I sold into you may be a tiny bit, and somebody else comes and sows something totally so much bigger because I was willing to sow that seed into you. So don't be afraid to sow a seed into somebody else. Don't be afraid to help someone else, to be kind to someone. Just your words to someone else. You never know that day who's going to need it. They may be at their last, on their last leg, and you say something kind to them, or you remind them of their worth, or you remind them of what they mean to you. And that could save a life.
And the other thing is that when you
Oh,
start to look outward toward other people and you try to be kind and caring and compassionate and lift other people up, what happens is you forget about your own problems. You really do. Your problems don't seem as small and they don't seem as hard whenever you're reaching out and lifting up other people. And when you start to do that, and when you get tuned into doing that, the other thing that happens is you get a sense about people, and you get feel you just pick somebody out, and you just say something kind to them, or you do something kind for them. You just lift them up. Those kinds of things don't cost a dime, and they're priceless. They're priceless to someone else, and they're priceless to you.
yes.
And as nannies, we need to be reaching each other and lifting each other up, especially in these hard times. I guess that's the way you pronounce your name. Maybe it's short for Michelle. She's talking about,
Oh,
how
oh,
she's
Mitch.
going
Okay.
through, and yeah, and how she's gained so much weight, and she's so stressed out because of her work. And, you know, that breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. But reach inside yourself and remember who you are and remember your worth
Mhm.
and start to believe in yourself. Because I think what happens is when you are in this situation, you stop believing in yourself a little bit. You lose a little bit of your faith in yourself. That's kind of easy to do right now. But you got to keep believing in yourself because you're all you've got. I mean, you you you've got to love yourself. You've got to love yourself. That's just all there is to it. Gotta love yourself.
She says, I left my job of 1.5 years. If you feel like a job is changing who you are as a nanny, it's best to leave. Yes. I don't ever want any, I don't ever want to change any job or anybody to come along and change my core. If it's changing my core personality and making me the opposite of who I am and what I am, it's time to go. It's time to prune away the dead the dead weight and prune away those things that are not productive, because they said when you a plant is dying, if a leaf is dying, it's sucking the life out of the rest of the plant, so you should cut that leaf off and let it die on its own instead of it sucking the life out of all the rest of it. Now you may have, several leaves that are dying on your plants. I did that. I cut away like 10 leaves. I was like, there's only 3 left. But now there's like 15 leaves that came back that are healthy and thriving. And I was crying over those 10 leaves. And now I got, a time and a half of those leaves that I cut away. So it's it was good to leave. It's good to leave bad situations.
And
When
and
you
the other thing, and the other part of that is that when you're in a job and it is making you miserable, it's one of the signs that you need to get out. Because
Mhm.
a lot of times, if you're not happy in your job, your employer's not happy with you either, and they're just waiting till it's convenient for them for you to be gone.
Right.
So you shouldn't let somebody else control or determine your destiny. You should take control of that. And you should be very proud of yourself that you did that, that you chose you, that you chose you. That's important.
Yeah. She says, I miss who I am as a person and I miss the fun, lighthearted me. I've gained probably 60 plus pounds. I'm going to work on me and my courses while I'm looking for work. So if anyone is in a really bad work situation, life is short. Amen. Amen.
It's true.
And
It is.
Blossom's Mona said, Amen to that. And Deidre said, it's okay to cry. Let it out, girl. And Janet says, Amen. Let's see. Do I have other comments? Okay. Lucretia says, I surround uh, I surround to God and I ask, surrender to God and ask him what I have to learn. Amen. Learn the lesson.
Learn to listen.
Going through things, learn the lesson, or you will repeat it.
And then move on. Learn the
And
lesson.
exactly. Learn the lesson and move on. Deidre says, well, I am bawling like a baby.
Sorry,
Oh,
Miriam.
oh, sorry. Oh, Mr. Rogers. Yes, Mr. Rogers said that. Find the helpers. Thank you, Janet. Uh, Susan says, Lucretia, I remember when you were having a hard time one time. I was so glad you reached out. I'm always glad when I see you commenting on posts. Yes, I remember that conversation too, Susan. But it seems like forever ago. And we're still going around in circles. We're still going. We're still at it.
We're still here.
We're still here. Okay, let me see. All right, yeah. Okay. Mitch said her name is Michelle. It's short for Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we have time for one more topic. Anything else anybody want to say? Anybody want to talk about? Anything you want to talk about? We have time for one more topic. While we wait, let me find this. Let me find. Hold on. There is a water safety and education for nannies and caregivers. It's a Zoom. Uh, it's a Zoom on Saturday, March 6th, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And Sadie, what is Sadie's last name? I know she's in here. Sadie, can you post that information? Sadie Kelly. She is doing with a webinar with collinshope.org. It's a water and water safety for your kids because it's starting to get warmer and you need to know if you want to attend that. Sadie, please post the information in the comments about the water safety because I know that the child that I'm going to be with, this summer, her mom loves the water, dad loves the water. So I know they're going to get her started early, which means that guess who's going to be in the water? So yeah, I need all that. So she says she's going to be posting it. I'll be posting the link in all my nanny groups. Okay. She said nanny. My question
Sadie, if
is,
you message that to me, I'll post it in my Nanny Transitions group too.
okay. Oh, I missed somebody. Hold on. Moving on after the lesson is learned is key. Yes, it is, Susan. Moving on and leaving the bad situation is key. My question is this public? How can we discuss things because we are afraid to get in trouble with employers or future employees? You want to answer that?
Well, I mean, I guess you really don't know. I think somebody would probably have to go to a little bit of effort to find this if they, wanted to do that. But I also think that there's a way that nannies can have these kinds of conversations without intimidating themselves or causing themselves to be scrutinized or to lose their jobs, because I think that it's important that nannies have a place to have these conversations. I
Yes.
mean, really, I don't know, with cameras and videos everywhere we go, is anywhere safe? I really am not sure if anywhere is safe. I mean, my friend was here the other day and she was talking about 3 different people that I did not have any idea who they were. And last night they all popped up on my Facebook feed as potential friends. I didn't know these people. Why did that pop up on I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what's safe. Okay. I don't. But I think that everybody needs somebody that they can talk to.
Yes.
Everybody needs a safe place, a safe space. And if they're not comfortable here, I think that, there's groups I mean, but even in the groups, as careful as you can be, how do you make those choices and those decisions I mean, you just have to take people at their words for who they say they are. They're not always who they say they are.
This is true. This
So
is
I
true.
think that, you know, you you have to watch your words. You can say the things you need to say, but you don't have to bash people in the process. So a little bit of that responsibility is on you.
Say that again for the people in the back.
You don't.
Oh my gosh. I I look at so many conversations and how many of them get deleted. And I come in and I'm like, what just happened? I missed what did I miss? And it's like the admin is like, we're not gonna have this in this group, and you can do this and you can't do that, and the conversation is this, the conversation that, and I cut off the comments and I did this and I was like, okay, so what happened? Because people have a tendency, and it's not just nannies, it's just people in general have a tendency of reading something and they jump on it because, oh, well, let me put my 2 cents in there. And I know I said come in and put your 2 cents in it, but you all know me. And you know your 2 cents matters to me. But when you go left and get a little cray cray, I'm gonna go swipe right and you will no longer be on here. Have respect for people. If you want someone to listen to your problem and genuinely give you answers, don't go stalking into their dilemma and well, you should have done this and he should have done that and he should have done it. And what girl, you so stupid for doing this? No. If you don't know, you don't know.
And in addition to that, maybe a group where 500 other people that you don't know are on it is not the best place to ask for advice. And that's another reason why you need nanny networks and nanny connections and nanny friends, professional connections. You need that. You need that to survive in this job, in this industry, in this profession. You have to have friends that you can trust,
Mhm.
people that you can talk to. You also have to have professional connections because your best friend might just tell you what they want to hear, what you want to hear, or they might tell you what they think and they might not be right. And that's why it's also important to have professional connections with people who can tell you what's right, but maybe not on a group with 500 people. You
No,
know? So
maybe
be
not.
careful where you put your stuff.
Right.
People, you don't know who those 500 people are on that group.
And you don't know who they know.
You don't.
'Cause they may know the nanny that lives next door to the where you work. And the nanny next door where you work can go over there and whisper while you're not at work. Well, your nanny said this and your nanny said that, and I have the proof. Here's a screenshot.
Yep.
So yeah, be careful. Deidre said nanny meetups is helpful too. Um, Susan Long said, I second the idea of having a therapist. Yes, I've had a therapist too. Uh, because the contract clause of confidentiality. Well, if you have a contract clause, an NDA that says confidentiality, then you don't need to be telling nobody that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those things, because there are things that I don't tell my husband because it's confidentiality, and he's the closest person to me. Now, if it's affecting my life and if it's affecting my actions in the way, if he sees me going a little cray cray, you know, okay, I don't care what the contract say. I'm married to you. You can leave the job at any time. So I have had him say that to me one time because it was stressing me out. And I was like, but I can't tell you. I can't tell you. He said, okay, you can either tell me or I can go and talk to them and ask them what they're doing to my wife. Because you won't tell me. He said, I'll let them know that you're not telling me, but I'm also let them know that if they don't stop, you won't be working for them anymore. I'm gonna put my husband foot down and you know, you can work for somebody else for less money. He said, I don't care. As long as you are happy, as long as you are healthy, when people start getting on your last nerve and start making you act this way, that's not a good job for you. It's time to go. It's like Mitch said, it's time to go. So that confidentiality clause, you have to realize that no, you can't speak to anybody about that. But you also have to realize that the professionals, there's a way to bring up scenarios,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
and when you bring up scenarios, um, the what ifs, we can help you with the what ifs. We can't say, well, in your situation you do this and this and this. We can say, in the scenario that you presented, this is what you can do. Here are some options for you to do. Now
Because we
that
don't
you
need all the details. We don't need
right.
all the details. You
Yeah,
just need
we're
basic,
good. You understand?
basics, you know.
Yes.
So,
Okay. Mitch says they say the phone is listening and thus gets on Facebook. Oh, there's a way that you can get Facebook off of your stuff. I know.
yes.
You have to go into your settings to do it.
Mhm.
But everywhere you
Yeah,
go,
you
it
can.
allows Facebook to track you. That's why I can talk to my husband about a car, and the next thing I know, I got car advertisements in my town that wants to sell me a car. All I did was mention I want a car. I want a different car. And I said 10 years from now, but they offering me the car now. Oh, why wait? Get your car now. Yeah, they do that. Um, Susan said, Lucretia, counseling with a therapist is confidential. You are safe there. Yes, exactly. You are safe there. There is a patient therapist, doctor patient confidentiality clause
Yes.
that goes um, how the delivery affects the message.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's talking about when you say things on a group,
Oh,
how the delivery affects the message. Yes.
okay. Preach it, ladies. Thank you, Becky.
Becky, you could preach the same sermon.
Yes, she could have. Susan said, I do counseling on Zoom every 2 weeks. Yes. Uh, whatever you need to do. You can sit in the comforts of your home and get counseling. You don't have to leave home. I don't think that's going to change. If you can, it's some things you have to go to the doctor's office for, but a lot of things you don't have to go for. They can just look at you and tell. They can consult you over Zoom. And I don't think that's going to change. Now that they've gotten it started, I don't think that's going to change. Okay, Miss Glenda, do you have any last comments, any last words of advice before we go?
Not really. I've loved being here. It's been great with all you guys, and
Oh, I
it's
love
great
it.
that you all contributed to the conversation. And I hope you remember that you matter and that you're
Yeah.
worthy. You're worthy of having a good job. You're worthy of having employers that love and respect you and treat you as a professional, as the professional that you are. You deserve that. You've earned that. So you need to own it.
Yes, yes, yes. And yes, all of that. Yes. Plus tax and overtime.
And
Yes,
have the hard conversations with your employers.
yes. If you haven't done that, if you and you're nervous and you need write a script, have a piece of paper, have your questions written down so you can sit and say, okay, ask the question. If you, whatever the case is, ask the question. Have it written down. When you write things down, it kind of builds confidence. And when you come in with a tablet and a notebook, it's like, oh, she was serious. She didn't just have a question. She had some. Okay, she couldn't take notes. Okay, hold on. Let me retract my brain. Okay, all right. Am I ready for this? All right. Okay, go. Deidre says she's balling again. Oh, Deidre.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Deidre, I'm gonna have to come pick you up from the airport, girl. I had to come get you. I can't have you balling over there. And okay. You're welcome, Glory. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me.
It's nice being with you.
Thank you all for joining me. Next week, I'm going to have, she calls herself Nanny by Nature, and her name is Gina. And she's going to be she's a sign language interpreter, and she's going to be talking to us about illiteracy.
Mm.
I am a strong, strong, strong early literacy advocate. Blah. Okay. And I do a lot of reading and posting of stories, starting like spring break is coming. I'm gathering stories now so I can put them on my YouTube page so kids will have something to to read. So next week, come and talk with us, and find out what she's talking about. Because she gave me a little known fact. We had a meeting and a little known fact, and I was like, I didn't know that. And it would just totally shock me. Okay, Deidre, see you at the airport. But it totally shocked me. But it's going to be a very interesting conversation. Um, she's a nanny. She's a interpreter. She used to work at the college in DC, the Gallaudet college, science school for science, blah, school for the deaf, the college for the deaf in is
Oh,
Gallaudet in Washington D.C. I only visited there once, and I had an experience. I'm like, I'm not going to share that online, but I was like, when I found out what the guy was telling me, I was like, okay. So yeah, but I will see you all next week, same time, same place, and you all have a great week and have a great week with and on purpose. Okay? And we'll see you all next time. Oh, I almost forgot. Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. The last 2 weeks I haven't cooked online because of the snow and no groceries in the store the next week. So first Tuesday, power was iffy. Second Tuesday, no groceries in the store. So we were eating off a soup that I made in the freezer. Good thing I did. So next tomorrow, I will be making one of my favorite recipes. It's called lazy lasagna. So you all join me tomorrow on my personal page, 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It will be available for the replay. So see you all then. Bye bye now.
bye.